Okay, so I had to pause for a brief moment, and now I'm back in this thing, and I'm going to actually finish my thoughts. As far as so it's been a series of things these last 5 years of information that has been given to me, and now I'm really starting to see why it's been given to me because there is a part of me that needs to die. Okay, and the old me that used to do all those other things that was destructive to me, that was getting in the way of me being the person that I needed to fully be and realize that I could be. All those old things, that's the old man. Old things are passed away, all things have become brand new. So now I'm understanding that the brand newness, okay, doesn't start with me on my outer appearance. It starts with me on the inside. So what are the things that are brand new about me? Okay, I'm I actually love myself better. I actually looking at myself as being equal to everybody else, to replacing that for lack. I'm actually looking at myself as being no different than that billionaire across town. Okay, that's the newness of me, and also the greatest part of it is, okay, everything that I could ever need and want, I already have. All right. And it was always that way. Okay. But it had to become a reality, a realization to me when I allowed myself to realize it, when I allowed myself to see it, when I'm started to allow myself to experience it as being true. And you know that whatever you believe to be true becomes true. I mean, it shows up in your time, point of space. And now you get to live those things that you think about, that you feel to be true, right? So now there's no question of how, what, where, and how, because the how and the what and the where, okay, and the why, okay, it's all included in that. So I can't go inside myself and say, well, why is this happening? Where did this come from? And how? How is never how is how could be relevant because how something happens, okay, you know, brings up the question: is it something that I thought about it being happening? Did I cause it to happen by my thoughts, or is it did or did I allow this to happen by me not fully looking at or fully getting all the information? That could be a how. Okay, that could be a how. Okay, the why, 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 right? And I think the why. I believe the why comes from your past experience. Why did you entertain that? Why did you even respond to that? Why would you even give an answer to that? Why would you even think that was relevant? Right? Why? Okay. Did you think that you could do that or this or that? Okay. Why would you think that you was actually going to accomplish that when you know deep inside that you can't, that you're not capable? Okay. You're really not capable. Okay. And I'm not saying you can ever be capable, but at that particular moment you wasn't capable. Because if you were capable, then you wouldn't be sitting here asking why or how. We always know when. We know when. We don't forget the when. Okay? When something happens, we don't ever forget. Well, when did that happen? We don't forget that. That's never forgotten. Okay, because soon as you sit back and you reflect on the why and the how, it's like, wow, I remember when I did that. Wow, I remember when I said that. I remember when I allowed that. I remember when, okay, I fell for that part. Okay, right? Because the test is always there. Okay, you're constantly being tested. to see, how smart you are, or what are you really looking at? Do you really, can you really see that, you know, and, you do see it, but you don't see it. Okay. You do realize it, but you don't realize it. Physically, metaphorically, and spiritually. Correct. Absolutely. And that's why we are in this point of space, to experience it in the manner, the way it needs to be experienced. Now, do I got to keep going through the same thing over and over again, and keep getting frustrated by the same thing over and over again when I refuse to change, when I refuse to allow myself to see why, and then I say no, because I have a choice. So now I'm choosing not to like keep pondering over it or keep trying to figure out why I did that. No, it's not that. It's become write down the choice now. Choose again. That's how I rewrite the script. I don't have to keep fumbling over what are you doing? Why would you do that? No. Now, moving forward, choose again. Choose again. Okay? Choose again. Because when you have the power to choose, you don't have to stay in that thing any longer. You don't have to sit in that mindset any longer. It can't affect you in the same manner it was affecting you any longer, because you made a different choice. Okay? You made a different choice. So now I got to allow the choice that's different to be all that it needs to be, because that choice has been coming at me for some quite time. Okay? And until I allow the choice that needs to be made to come in to my reality, okay, I had to take a moment just there and think about what I'm getting ready to say. Let me rephrase that. If I keep fighting the choice that I know I need to make, okay, then that's saying that I'm in agreement with the choice I've already made. So now the choice that I already made, I'm not happy with it. I'm miserable with it. I'm miserable with it. I'm not myself with it. I'm constantly questioning myself with it. I'm constantly questioning, things around me. I'm constantly questioning the things that I'm doing. I'm constantly questioning the clothes that I wear. Right? I'm constantly questioning, why I feel about certain things. And that's why I'm seeing, okay? And that's the reason, okay? Because there's always an underlying reason. And I believe that the underlying reason is because I've been blocking out the choice that I know I should have made in the first place. And that is some powerful stuff right there. And no matter how you chop it up, no matter how you try to put it in a different language, it could be Indian, it could be Portuguese, it's still the same outcome, because the language speaks for itself. It ain't got nothing to do with interpretation. It's already interpreted because it was written. Once it's written down, you don't need to interpret it, because the interpretation is in the writing. Okay? All right? The reason why people need interpretation is because they don't want to come off of what they know about it, or what they think they know about it, or what they think they believe about something. That's why they say, well, my interpretation is not that. Well, it's in black and white. So how can you interpret it any other way than what it was said, right? So that's called mind fuckery. Okay, where you fuck yourself out of the blessing that you could have gotten by just sitting there reading it verbatim right there off the page. My God, right? Okay, so when they say when the writing's on the wall, all right, what are you looking at? What writing, what writing are you looking at? Okay? Because if the writing's on the wall and you're being told to look at the wall for the writing, but yet you're not seeing what's actually written on the wall, is because you refuse to see it. You took a blind eye to it. You became blind to it because you didn't want to see it. Why didn't you want to see it? Why? Tell me why you didn't want to see that. Because it's the truth? Because it's too much for you? Are you constantly constantly trying to reject